My name is Anuschka Alborzian, for those that don't know me, and I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer. And Jacob, I'd love for you to introduce yourself as well.
Yes, of course. My name is Jacob Moya, and I help people to release trapped emotions that are creating blockages inside of their body, inside of, creating physical symptoms, emotional symptoms. And I also work a little bit with the other stuff, the more woo-woo stuff, like energy, spirituality, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah, so today we wanted to talk about energy cycles, and it's a Q&A. So I'm going to be asking you, Jacob, to share more about some of the energy cycles and whatnot, and what is an energy cycle?
Right. Well, it's by observation, I noticed that everything follows a cycle. And one of the very first lessons that I received when I started this a long time ago, 20-something years ago, it was that all the answers to everything that we are looking in our life, it's already out there in nature. How nature behaves, how everything changed in front of us, because we were supposed to pay more attention of what's happening outside of us, because the saying, as above so below, right? And we are below, and that it's above us. So it's in front of us, it's not inside of us. So that's where the messages are. And if you understand this a little bit deeper, you can understand also that astrology was complete. It's just kind of like a science now, because they can pinpoint very powerful events and things that happens in everybody's life, else's life. And all was just based on the observation of the cycles at star level, the planets, the sun, the position of the sun, the position of the stars, the position of the moon. And that created a whole system that makes a lot of sense for many of us, at least. And so grabbing all that information, I said, well, if it's happening at the star levels, it should happen here as well, right? At the physical level, because although I don't see God as a human person, with human cravings and human needs and human ways of thinking, I see it as a very wise energy that was able to create this magnificent environment that is all about balance, the self-sustain itself. So it couldn't be that he just put all those messages in the stars, and forget about the physical for the rest of the people. So I started paying attention, and I also was able to learn and understand that the same way that we go through cycles, the 4 seasons that we go through in a natural year, in our life we also have cycles. In the same way that within a season we have all kinds of weather, when we are going through our own cycles, we have all kinds of emotions, as well, that they can relate to these things. And then everything started making sense for me. Everything became like fascinating, and I finally understood why, when it rains, it pours. When you have something bad going on for you, it's like Jesus, is everything at once. It's about work, it's about issues with your relationships, it's issues with health. It's like everything at the same time. And I finally understood by observation that we go through one major cycle through all our life. We start at the beginning, when we're just born, and it's kind of like in a springtime, where we are just, open to everything and learning everything. And then we go through adulthood, which is part of the summer and then fall, and to finally enter into a winter, right? And so that's something that it's, as a therapist, it's been very helpful for me, because to my clients, one of the very things that I ask them is how old are they, so I can understand in which part of this major life cycle they are. Mm-hmm. And then I ask them what sign they are in, because that helps me to understand that their life path. And although I'm not an astrologer, I don't know how to read charts. I don't know the symbols. I mean, you can put a birth chart in front of me, and I have no clue whatsoever what it's saying. I created my own thing, by observation, seeing the common characteristics of the people that I knew, relatives, friends, close friends, that they were living in that particular sign, and see the coincidences, where they were similitudes. And that's how I created my own idea of how, what is their life path. And through that, in the major life cycle, I can pretty much understand where they are and why they are living the things that they are living. And my idea of that is not just to grab knowledge, is to bring peace to the people, so they can understand that this cycle that they are in, it's a good thing, because now that they are living through a dense cycle, through all the difficulties, it can only come better at the end. It can only change from now, because there's a bottom. There's always a bottom. There's always a place where things cannot go any worse, and then we start moving into a new cycle, a rebirth. That is the importance for me of the cycles.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear that, especially when you said when it rains and pours, and it immediately had me, besides just thinking of myself, but I start thinking about, look at what we've been dealing with just in 2020. And it's like, whenever it's like, first COVID, and then, the whole lockdown, and then, all the things, and like riots, and where we're at now. I mean, literally, it's like, this is a cycle we're going through, right? Would you say? It seems to me. A cycle.
Definitely. And then we forget. Yeah, exactly. It's because the earth itself is going through a cycle. Right, so everybody that is in the air is going to be forced to go through that cycle. And just think about this, if you get sick, and you are feeling depressed, and you are having issues at work, you have all the references around you to feel down. And when you feel down, if you study a little bit of biology, you will notice that inside of your body there's a shift. When the energy shifts is when your defenses go lower, and then the opportunistic viruses, bacteria, fungi, all that good stuff just kind of like awaken, and then it start attacking your body. And then you create a new reference that, on top of everything, I feel bad. And then you add to the situation, and you feel even worse. And you feel even worse, so your own stuff, your defenses go even lower. So all the viruses, bacteria, they start attacking you again. And it's it's just a dance until eventually your own bacteria, your own viruses and fungi go through their own life cycle, and then they finish. And then your defenses start recovering, you start feeling better, and then optimism kicks in, and your energy shifts, and you give more power to your immune system, and start attacking and controlling everything better, and it's like boom, 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 going up again, until eventually you don't even remember that you were sick. You are just catching up with life and having fun and all that stuff, and you completely forget about the time that you were sick, because you are already in your summer season, or even in your fall, which is also beautiful,
And that's the beauty of the human. Oh no, I was just gonna say, and that's the beauty of the human mind too, because our brain, or just how we're built, because we tend to over time we tend to forget the pain. And we tend to remember more. So some people just dwell on the pain and negativity. And overall, when it's something really painful, your brain shuts it out. It shuts out the pain to some extent.
Yeah, just remember, because building up on our past live sessions, and if people, this is the first time that they see us or they watch at us, we have in our past session, I think we were talking about this, what happened when the energy inside of you changed, and at the psychological level, when all your senses are activated, the doors of your subconscious mind open up, and then you record information there. And part of the stuff that you record there is what is gonna become your reality, like the rules, like how you're gonna live. It's like filters. I see it like filters. It's the filters that you're gonna use to witness your own reality, which is complicated on its own because we usually put the wrong information there. You know, it's like you're feeling bad and all your emotions are active and you say, oh my God, it's always me and everything happens to me and I am a victim and so on and so forth. And guess what? That is the program that gets recorded in your subconscious mind. And every time that you have an opportunity to bring that up, it's gonna come up. You know, it's gonna prove you right. It's gonna show you that that everything happens to you, only to you, that you are the exception of the rule, you know, not part of the rule.
Yeah.
You know, something that is important and that you and I share at the personal level a lot of time, and we haven't mentioned it, is also the moon cycles. You know,
Yes.
and how the moon affect all the people that are empaths, all the people that are kind of like awakened.
Yeah, and I'd love to have a
cycle.
whole live on that. So let's not get too, because I would love to have more, because there's so much knowledge around that, and there's so much information.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We should definitely, maybe next week we can do the moon cycles even, right?
Absolutely, we can do it.
I feel like that would be a good one for next week, because
Yeah.
I do notice, sometimes I'll just all of a sudden be feeling a certain way, and then I don't know what's happening, and then I look and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So I'd love for just even me to learn more, and I'm sure so many others feel that way too, not realizing how it affects us. But more so with the energy stuff is, so I know you were talking about so can you speak a little bit more about controlling these energy cycles? I know you mentioned some things around that, but can we actually control these energy cycles?
Right. Well, in reality, you cannot control it the same way that you cannot control weather. The best way that you can control things is how you make sense about the experiences that you live. You know, the filters, once again, the filters that you are using to process the information that you are living, you know, and that's what is up to us. That is the only part that is up to us. That is totally in our control. Because I mean, the same way that we cannot control the weather, you know, and like I said, all the answers are in nature, right? So if we don't have the capability to produce rain or to produce a cloud when we need a shade, or to have a break out of the sun when you're in summer, or have a break out of the winter when you are too cold, you know, we cannot prevent us from living experiences that we are supposed to live. Because in a way, is something, I mean, nothing happens just because of it, right? There's always a good reason. There's always something good coming out of something bad. So if you prevent you from living that stuff, you will also prevent yourself from living the good stuff that is coming afterwards. So now, like you said, what can we do? Okay, raise your vibration. You know, I can wear bracelets, and the only reason that I have these bracelets is when I'm training my mind on myself on something. So what I do is I make a statement, which is a very short statement, and I say, for example, something that I give to all my clients on our first session: everything that happens to me is for a good reason, even though I cannot see it now. You know,
my highest good.
Yeah. So if you start like having that as a mantra, playing and playing in your mind, eventually you're gonna play it when all your emotions are activated, and it's gonna go to your subconscious mind, and then that program is gonna be recorded there, and it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you to definitely see everything with a different filter, you know, like, okay, I'm living this challenging thing. Like, for example, I'm in a hurry. I'm going to my car because I'm late for a very important appointment, a transformational event for me, or job interview, something like that. And you have a flat tire, you know, it's like, oh, no, you know, what can I do? Okay, everything happens for me for a good reason, even though I cannot see it. Okay, what are my options with that filter? My options are, well, I can call an Uber. It can be, I can try to fix the tire myself. Or if you have a towing service, call the towing service and see if they are around, And you can try whatever. You can try calling towing company first, and this is gonna take 30 minutes. I'm not gonna make it. Call an Uber and see, oh, this is probably 5 minutes away. The doors are open that way, right? So you jump into the Uber, and then you just allow them to you share your information, because you never know who's driving. It may be a doctor, as a psychologist. It may be a healer that can help you to calm down. They can give you tools. It can be a retired executive that is doing this for fun, and is going to give you pointers on stuff that you're going to use on your appointment. And you don't even know if the person that you are going to see is also running late. And it's a blessing that you're going to be late, because now you are taking all the pressure out of him or her,
Yeah. Or it's even like, what if that didn't happen and you could have gotten in an accident? That's also, because it's like, if, for instance, right?
Definitely.
If we get a flat tire, well, what if that actually was saving us from something worse?
Yeah.
So it's, again, I have the same mantra. Everything's always working out for me. Everything's always happening for my highest good. I have that same thing. And I do agree with the whole reactions are everything. Reaction is how we react, is our choice. And surrendering to everything's working out for our highest good is how I see it.
And it's amazing how it works. I used to date a lady a few years back, very young, beautiful lady, and she had a mantra that was, nothing that is mine can be lost or stolen. Nothing that is mine can be lost or stolen. I mean, I can share with you events where she forgot her purse with all her money there, and not in a restaurant, in like a department store, she forgot it, and then, oh, my bag, and she goes back and she goes to Lost and Found. There you go. There's her purse with all her stuff intact there, because nothing that is lost, nothing that belongs to her can be lost or stolen. That, I mean, things like she lose her phone and then she finds a way. Amazing things happen to her, like all the time. So I have another person that she uses for parking spaces.
I do.
And believe me, she can go to Little Italy on a Saturday, lunchtime or dinner time, and she finds on the spot.
It's even to the point.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's one of those.
That happens to me. It's to the point where even sometimes I'll go and I'm like, oh, I can fit here. I mean, it just happened the other day. I'm like, I can fit here. And I'm like, oh, it didn't fit. And then thankfully I did that, because right two in front of me, which is even a closer spot, ends up opening up as I'm driving up. Had I not even tried that, it's just that stuff. And because I say, I always get the best parking spot. Like, that's something that I always say.
There you go.
It always ends up being the case.
And trust me, it's amazing. I suggest to all the people that is watching this, you can even change. If you use a watch on one hand, switch it to the other hand, so you can remember. Because the idea is that you are wearing something that you are not used to wearing. Like, for example, I usually don't have any bracelets on me, and so it's not a feeling that I am familiar with. So it needs to be something that is bugging you, so it can remind you that you have a homework to do, and just do it. And better if you write it down. You can write it down and put it there, and it helps. It helps because it's just a reminder until it becomes part of you. Once it becomes part of you, you can remove everything, and it's gonna be part of you. And
that's what
it's gonna
recommend.
Be amazing. It's great.
Yeah, and what I recommend, similar to that, I'll have clients just set reminders that go off every couple hours, or an alarm or something that goes off every hour with a new mantra. Because like you say, something needs to be conscious first, and then it becomes a part of us, right?
And of course, Anuschka used technology and I use mundane things.
I'm a technology person. What can I say? There's so many ways. Post-its. Post-its are awesome too. And it's like one of the things, you know, I always say, even with post-its or vision boards of any kind, once it starts to become background, you got to move it. Because after a while, our brain just makes it as part of the background. So you got to move it around. So it becomes like, oh, that wasn't there, right?
Yep.
So one of the other things I'd love for you to share, because we've talked about energy cycle and then you've also talked about life cycle. Can you share what the difference is between the two? Oh, and by the way,
it's and I also
just to let me look, because I know people are. Oh, we have somebody on Instagram saying, I totally agree with everything he is saying. Yes, and that was, I believe, earlier with the energy cycles and whatnot.
Yeah, and send your questions, guys. If you have a specific question, this is a great time for you to send it over, so we can go over that, and we make sure that we go over that.
And we have now one question, but let me go ahead and you say that.
Ask, because the question may be related, so let's see if we can tell the answer.
So Anna was mentioning that she's affected by moon cycles as well. And yeah, she's like me with the parking as well. So she was mentioning that. And then she's asking, how long does it take for it to be programmed in the subconscious? So when something is conscious, how long does it take for that to become part of our habitual way?
You know, this is an amazing question. Yes. Because we all are different. We all are very, very different. And when you are talking about energetic work, you cannot use guidelines, or you cannot use set schedules or set times, because it's going to work differently for everybody. You know, it really depends on you and your beliefs. What it really, for example, for me, is very easy to get it, not because I am amazing, it's because I already built up so many references through all my life that this is true and that it works, that I just need to remember the new phrase that I'm working with and keep it going until I memorize it. And once I memorize it, it's like, boom, it start happening. But for other people, if this is your first time, you are fighting against your logical physical brain. And your logical physical brain only understand and believe and knows that it's real what already experienced, or what someone that you would trust and believe on already experienced it. If not, it's completely dismissed. Like, for example, I don't have to convince you that if you take a Tylenol, the headache that you're feeling is gonna go away. You kind of assume that, right? But if I tell you that if you call me when you have a headache and we can move the energy through your body and release it completely, so you can just dismiss completely the headache and don't feel it anymore, it will be like, I don't know about that, right? Why? Because you don't have a reference. But if we already worked before and you experienced that before, you're gonna be like many of my clients that sometimes they text me and it's like, do you have 5-10 minutes? I have a headache that is killing me. Please help, you know? And I call them up and boom, boom, boom. I even developed a quote for my therapy that is $2 a minute, just for people that do that, because I mean, it's only 5-10 minutes, you know, we only work 5-10 minutes and boom, we're set. Okay, that's it. Boom, they're gone. And so it's not like a regular therapy thing because of that, because they already created references. And the next step is for them to do that thing for themselves. What I'm doing for them, do it for themselves. And that takes another level of trust, because now they have the references that the energetic work help and can shift energy and symptoms out of the body. But for other people, is like if they don't have that reference, it's complicated. Like they don't have the references that they are capable of doing it on their own, you know. But that's why I always say to my clients, first is intention, and then is the action. You know, you have to match your actions with your intentions to allow yourself, to give permission yourself to create a new reference that you're going to experience. Is going to go back into your brain, and then it's going to form part of your behavior. It's going to become part of your reality of who you are, you know. So that's that. Now, going back to your original question, it really is different because let's say that for everybody, because let's say that a life cycle for a person is 80 years, right? And from some other people is 60 years, and from some other people it's 100 years, you know. So we have the major cycle that we don't have a lot of control on. Now I'm talking about me and my experience because I don't have those references in my mind, right? So what I use for my clients is a numerologist. I have a friend that I refer most of my clients, so she can do a reading for them, and she can share with me in which part of the cycle they are in. And the way that I mean, they use all these complicated matrices and they, oh, you have a ace of spades and you have a king here and a number 8, and this means this is I don't understand. I think I'm dyslexic, you know, I get all confused. But the way that I explain it and understand it is that we go through physical cycles, I mean through spiritual cycles and physical cycles, spiritual cycles and physical cycles. So when we just born, when we're a new baby, we start our physical cycle. It's not our spiritual cycle, it's our physical cycle, because we're coming from the spirit. So we are coming from energy into the dance, into the physical cycle. And then from here, little by little, we're gonna move through the years, and we're gonna go eventually into our connections with something higher than us. That's your spiritual cycle. It's also about emotions and connection and connecting emotionally with other people. And then you go down again into your physical cycle. And most people that are in their productive years, they're living through the physical cycles. And then you start shifting again at the end of your life into a spiritual cycle. That's why you can see that most elder people, they don't care about the haircut, the clothes that they're wearing, the car that they are driving, you know, the house that they're living. It's they just maintain their own stuff, you know. If you can see them through, there's a special camera that does this. I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name, but basically it's not they photograph your aura. It actually photograph your energy, the energy inside of your body. And then what you can notice in these people, the ones that are elder, the ones that they don't care about the physical stuff, is that the higher chakras are more bigger, are more expanding than the lower chakras. And when you're in a physical cycle, your lower chakras are bigger, are more powerful than your spiritual chakras. And remember that everything needs to create balance on its own, right? So if you start with the physical, then you move to the spiritual. If you start with the spiritual, then you move to the physical. You know, it's like a dance, you know, and you're going through these cycles. And of course, the ideal is to be completely balanced, right? And to have both active and ready through your physical cycle and through your spiritual cycle, you know, so you can perform good in both situations.
I see. So, and then because energy cycle really is just more like seasons then, whereas,
yeah,
right? And then life cycle is I guess.
Yeah, your life cycle gotta be with a different thing, because you know, we're gonna go through a complete whole different rabbit hole, because life cycle, it really depends on which side do you try to do you came here to experience life. Do you came to here physical level, or do you came to experience that on the light? You know, it really depends. If it's a light, then all material stuff is important, but not that important in your life. If it's a physical cycle, it's also, you know, very, very important for you: power, quality, quantity, you know, knowing the things, because it's all about rules and regulations. The other is about freedom, you know. It's different. It's just different. Nothing is better than the other. It's just different. It's a different experience. So even if you went through a physical cycle, you're gonna go through your spiritual cycle, inner spiritual cycle, or inner physical cycle. So at one point you're gonna fall in love and you're gonna marry it, and then at one point you're gonna go back and do your business and create you know, a lot of wealth, to have a very beautiful, huge house for your family, take all these vacations, but you'd never connect deeply with the loved ones, you know, with your children or with your wife or husband, or whatever it is. And then you move again because you're getting divorced, and now I don't know, the business is in problems, you know, or you get fired out of being the big CEO, and now you go back again into your spiritual cycle and try to find yourself again, and you see the meaning of love, and you see how important it is, and then you find a new person, and then you match with that person, and you fall in love again, and you reconnect with your children, and everything is working good, and then you go back into your physical cycle, right? Because that's what you came here to experience. Now, we can always change it. I mean, you can choose. On one of our lives, we also share this, that your decisions at the physical level, at the rational level, are more important than your decisions at a spiritual level, because the body is finite. You know, your life is gonna finish. So whatever is important for you, they're gonna allow you to live it. So if you choose at one point, although you came here to become the big attorney, the big entrepreneur, and all that stuff, if you came here to say, you know what, yeah, I already did this, but now I want to transform myself. Like an example will be Bill Gates, for example, you know. And I know that they are all these conspiracies about the vaccines and all that good stuff, but he already went through the business cycle. He mastered that. He become very wealthy, and then he put his effort in something completely different, you know, which is heal the world from pain, you know. It's not for money, because he don't need more. I mean, he cannot spend the money that he already have. Why does he want more money, right? It's not about power, because he will be running for president if that was the case, right? It's more about something else. It's about trying to crack a code that he sees at the physical level, you know. But it's more like a spiritual cycle, because it's more about everybody else. It's not about me. You know, is what I can do for others, what I can use all these resources, all this knowledge, all this process that I have, and apply it to something that is better for people that I don't even know. You know,
but yeah,
yeah, and like I said,
I mean, yeah, it's his, yeah, totally get that though, yeah. And what I hear though with that is, yes, the physical, there, you know, with the physical cycle and the spiritual cycle, the physical mind is what's dominant, and we have free will. So yeah, it totally makes sense in that sense. We have a couple things here. Let's see. Oh, Anna said, next time I have an energetic migraine, I'll know who to call.
Please
do. Get energetic. I'd love to learn that as well. So we'll maybe do a three-way.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah. And then Jamie, I don't want to mispronounce the name, Jamie Kasuchi, said hello to us.
Oh yeah, he's a former client of me. We connected at the group. Good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing great.
Yeah. And then Anna said, as part of human free will, can people choose to only be in a physical cycle for their lifetime, or conversely only choose to be in a spiritual cycle and essentially ignore the physical? That's a great question.
It's a great question. It's actually a very deep question, you know, because the simple answer will be kind of like, I mean, you can choose whatever you want, right? After all, your physical is the one that controls, right? But in reality, this is what I tell to my clients. First of all, I don't see you live it as a physical cycle, powerful cycle, all about money, all about power, all about wealth, all about comfort. I don't see it as a bad thing, you know, because indirectly you are providing employment for a lot of people. And I'm sure that some of that people that you're providing employment for is people that are living on the other side, right? So it's always good. But this is the thing. We choose to learn and to accomplish some lessons because we need them, not because we were having fun. It was because something that we needed to have as part of our spiritual, or let's call soul growth. But we choose all that stuff before we get a body, before we choose our parents, before we choose the environment that we were going to live in. So now think about this. Now that you are in the density, that you have such a powerful mind that is programmed since the day that you were born for balance, you know, right, wrong, like and not, good, bad, you know, day, night, hot, cold. And you're trying to use that brain to decide what is better for you. You see my point? Is like we are at a at a place that is very dense. This is something. Let me compare to this. It's like if you're going to a party and you're getting drunk and you're having fun and you're getting, you know, with everybody, the noise, the music, that, and at that point you decide how you're gonna live the rest of your life. It is the worst moment, you know. Yes. Because what is fun for you, let's say that at that point you decide that you're going to become a bartender and live in the party, or a DJ and live in the party for the rest of your life, you know? Well, it's going to be fun for a few years, you know, but after that, it's going to become like people overgrow you. They are already raising families. And now you're dealing with young people, you know, and then eventually it's going to call you, hey, sir, can you please put this song on? And you're gonna be like, holy cow, I don't belong here, right? Yeah, guess what? It's because you make a decision at the wrong moment, you know, and you didn't allow yourself to keep moving forward, experiencing everything that you needed to experience to accomplish the thing that you came here to accomplish. Now, the next natural question is, how can we know what is we came here to accomplish? We don't. And we never will, you know. We will figure it out once we run out of time and we are on another level, and we're gonna see.
We're like, always, it's like always unfolding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about, you know how there's people out there, because I know this is another part of the question, and Anna and I talk about this a lot of times, where there are people here that only do the spiritual, and they don't, they want to almost detach themselves from the physical.
Right, but you are seeing. Yeah, but once again, this is what I mean with our physical brain, right? Because right now, what you are seeing is what they are doing right now, and you are creating a judgment based on your own life experience, on your own filters, as Anuschka, a woman, a daughter of immigrants that live in the place that you live, you know, so on and so forth. And that's how you are judging. I'm not saying good or bad. It's just judging someone they choose to live. I don't know, the gender that they have, the age that they have, and the monastery that they are praying on. You know, we cannot understand until we live it, right? And probably if you have a chance to experience his life and the detachments from body that he got every time that he meditates, and his ability to change and transform someone else's sickness just by thinking of them, you know, that kind of amazing stuff, you know, you wouldn't understand why they are there, right? But now there's another thing. Remember, the life, physical life, third dimension life, is all about balance, right? So what is it that they are balancing then? Maybe they're very powerful entrepreneurs on their past life. Maybe they were these big generals that conquer territories for someone else in a past life. Maybe they were slave traders, you know, just for the sake to make money. You see what I mean? It's in therapy, when I'm working with people, many times we are able to go through the past and even search and find karmatic issues that we need to heal in order for them to free themselves from stuff. And it's amazing because we can actually pinpoint which part of the body they have the imbalance. And then I ask them to touch certain areas and it hurts. And we check with the pendulum, is going backwards. And once we heal it, once we ask for forgiveness or we forgive someone, it completely changed. You know, it shifts, the energy shifts, pains go away, you know, everything, the reality completely transformed. So now, what I want to say with this is that we don't know what the people that are in front of you or that you are judging are working on. You have no idea, because remember the pendulum law, you know, the more it swings one way, the more that it swings another. So if you were, let's say, let's say Donald Trump, because next life he's probably going to become a monk, or he's coming from a monk-like experience, and he says, you know what? I already reached the maximum pinnacle level that I can achieve, you know, by being spiritual. You know, now I want to achieve the maximum pinnacle level that I can achieve in a physical, you know, and it's all about life, and it's power, and it's sex, and it's vulgarity, everything that represents the density. And he embodies it, and he played the role very, very well, you know. So that's how it is, and that's why it's very important for you guys to keep your vibration up and your vibration high enough that you don't get sick, and you master all this ability to transmute energies and allow them to move through you. It's very important to say always good things about the people that are in front of you, because even if you cannot stand them, if you cannot understand the way that they live and the way they're thinking, you can send, these are kind of like blessings. You know, if I see at you and I say, I love your hairstyle, and I love the mind, body, spirit drawings that you have on your back, and then your name, and you know, everything, all the detail that you are putting in effort that you're putting to your work, it's something beautiful. You know, it's like if I am blessing you for being who you are, it's accepting you and recognizing that you are a holy person in a mission. You know, and I can do the same for everybody else. In therapy, many times we have to forgive and accept the people that are hurting us the most. And we don't do it for them, we do it for ourselves, because we are the ones stuck in a lower vibration, stuck emotionally and stuck energetically, just because we are holding these emotions inside of us, right? So,
and then disease happens and whatever else comes about, because we're anger, resentment, all of it. Yeah. Well, awesome. And Jamie said, I am well, thank you. And Anna said, I call it being spiritual in a vacuum, for the people that I think she's but that makes sense from what you just explained with the karma and the pendulum. So I don't know.
Right. And I would love to have Anna in our when we finally are able to form the group for our empaths. You know, I would love to have you, Anna, in our group as part of the subjects that we're going to go through this. The plan is that we're going to record this for everybody else to see it in the future and use it. You know, it's kind of like a template to help everybody else, you know, because I don't have the time to keep doing it. But the thing is that, you know, as an empath, you live your emotions very intensively, you know, and the real problem is that many times you don't even know if it's your emotion or someone else's emotion. And the emotions, usually the cycle is, you have a thought, and the thought can be at a higher vibration or a lower vibration. If it's a higher vibration, it will bring good energy. We don't have to take care of that one. But if it's a lower vibration, you know, you're going to have, bless you, you're going to have a feeling, you know, an emotion. And that emotion is going to create a feeling. And that feeling is going to create a reality in front of you, you know, and you're going to see it either narrowed or expansive. If it's narrowing, it's going to be a dense one, you know, and you're going to make a judgment on it. You're going to pass judgment into it. And the challenge of doing that is that it's very, very hard to move dense emotions because they are dense and our physical body is dense. So it's like they can match easily, you know. So we need to raise your vibration to stop having this polarity with all the dense emotions from you and from other people. And that is what's really helped you to transform everything else. You know, but that will be my answer to that.
Yeah, and she's definitely in for the empath workshop. And
Sure.
yeah, I believe we're looking at doing it the second week of July. We haven't set it yet. That's what we were talking about, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that gives us enough time to also see who else is wanting to join us. I really do believe it's going to be powerful. And maybe we could even look at releasing, doing the energetic work, how you were saying, releasing those headaches or whatnot, and have that be a part of it for people.
It's everything. It's everything. It's gonna be a commercial for what we're gonna do because it ties very well. The thing is that we have such a powerful, we're a powerful entity. We have a very powerful brain, we have a very powerful lungs, we have a very powerful hands, but we receive all this without a manual, how to use it. And on top of everything, we build up a lot of judgments that are based on balance in our brain, and we live our life based on that reality. So part of the workshop is, first of all, we go back to the source. When do you decide to become an empath? Heal that event. That is the most important thing that we can do. Heal that event, because that was the reason why you are experiencing someone else's emotions. Most likely it's something bad that you did to many people, not just one, but to many people. And the reason why you're feeling all these emotions is because now you open yourself to feel not only what you experience, but what everybody else experienced, where they are going through pain and suffering, so you can balance that experience. So the first thing that we do is we balance that experience. We let it go. We free ourselves from it. We ask for forgiveness, and so on and so forth, And then we release all the stuff that is connecting us to those type of memories. And then we release ourselves, because you choose your parents because that combination of mother and father was going to give you the ingredients that you needed to become an empath. So now we also have to release the energy of the lineage of mom and dad, because we are bringing you little by little back to neutral. And once you're neutral, then we can start working. Then you can learn all these exercises to manipulate energy inside of your body. Then you can understand how to use your mind to control things and to transmute energy, and just how they call it, the hacks, the tiny hacks that make all the difference between how you've been living your life and how you are supposed to live your life from now on. And use it instead of as a curse, as a gift. She already is doing some of that, because I read on her post that she's using all these feelings that she received, perceptions about other people, to create a hairstyle, and the hairstyle is very important for the people, because that's how you look to yourself, so that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited for the empath workshop, because I believe, not only for myself and for others, I believe it's going to make a huge difference. And looks like Jamie said he is interested in the empath workshop as well. So we'll definitely get the information out. And then, Stephanie, hi. She says, hi, beautiful. Hello. She may be joining us tonight for the meditation. So
awesome.
Hopefully we'll have you on there. And so speaking of that, we're definitely looking forward to anyone that's watching join us tonight for our meditation. We have them every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you are interested, please let either of us know, and we'll give you the information on how to join us. And for the future, you can also send me your email, because that's where I'm sending a lot of the information as well. Is via email.
Yes, please send your emails to Anuschka, please. And the other thing is that tonight's meditation is going to be special, and just to Anna, if you start feeling uncomfortable at some level at the meditation, what I'm going to ask you right now is just to drop a level, come back to one level, because turns out that I'm going to have a session today, like around I think it's 6 or 6:15, something like that. And it's for a guy that have a visitor, an energetic visitor in his house, and he's asking for help. And I told him, well, yeah, definitely we can do that today. And once we take care of that, we're going to go into our meditation, which I think is amazing,
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah,
Because
that'll be
then we're going to use the energy of everybody else to heal whatever space we have. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I
Yeah,
mean,
super excited for that.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'll be sharing more about the meditation as well, both on Instagram and Facebook. And I feel like there was something else.
Let me add something here before we go. You know, you were asking me about what is it that we can do on our cycles, right? Well, one of the hacks that I share with the people when we're going through workshops is the meditation thing. You know, because when you are meditating, and the people that went already through our meditations, they can tell their experience. I mean, when you finish your meditation, you feel completely different. And the reason why is because you are able to master little by little your energetic self. It's like we give power to our energetic self while your physical rational brain is watching, you know. So we get permission from our physical brain to allow the energetic self to go over our body and to take control of our body. And that is what starts creating the difference, you know, because it helps you to understand that life is about something else, you know, something that you usually are not able to see, to feel, to touch, you know, that you can only sense. It's different, you know, it's an experience, exactly. And that's what meditation is all about.
Yeah, that's why I love them so much, because every time, because I feel like we have a group of us doing them together, it's so much more powerful than doing it. I always notice a difference when I'm doing them on Tuesday evenings and when I do it on my own. I go deeper. I experience new things, and it's just really awesome. And Anna said, she does entity clearing on the regular, so no problem. She does. So yes. And then for those that are interested in actually seeing some of the other videos we have, you're more than welcome to head over to my YouTube channel. They're there as well. They're also on Instagram, on the IGTV side, as well as Facebook. So we have them everywhere. We're doing these healers talks every Tuesday at 12 with different topics. And next week will be moon cycles, and I'm excited for that.
Excellent.
Otherwise, see you all tonight, whoever would like to join us and have a magical experience.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you, Anuschka.
Thank you so much.
Bye now.